Hello, this is Mike with the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And in this video we're bringing you issue 71 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Mortal Realms magazine. This issue came with 2 Gryph-hound statues, which is actually our final terrain piece to come with the Mortal Realms collection. If you'd like to see what those look like on the battlefield, you can do so using the time code in the description or the chapter bars, but we will have a look through the issue contents first. First up we have some lore on the Soulblight Gravelords, specifically the Soulblight vampires themselves afflicted with the Soulblight curse. These are some of Nagash's most powerful lieutenants and leaders, and they're accorded a fair degree of autonomy. It mentions at the bottom the Legion of Night of Manfred von Carstein and the Legion of Blood of Neferata, two of his Mortarchs, who are vampires themselves. On the back, some more of the dynasties. The Virkos dynasty have the blood of the wolf in their veins, so they sort of turn into werewolves. The Castellai are the most militaristic of the vampires, and then the Avengorii fully indulge their monstrous side and are typically horrifically mutated creatures known as Vengorian lords. Then we have background on the Vanguard Paladors. These are sort of fast cavalry of the Stormcast Eternals, expert hunters and raiders, part of the Vanguard chambers, and mounted on Gryph chargers. They form part of the Angelos conclaves, and they arm with Boltstorm pistols, and also either Starstrike javelins or shock hand axes, as you can see there. Then we learn about Marathi, now ascended to godhood. Another originally an elf from the world that was. She was devoured by Slaanesh, but then rescued, although tainted forever by her imprisonment in Slaanesh. She helped the elven gods to imprison Slaanesh himself, and in return was given a portion of the elven souls drawn from him, which she forged into the daughters of Cain, who worship her. And it mentions about her ascension to godhood, going from a prophet of the god Cain to becoming a goddess herself, by draining very powerful souls from Slaanesh and consuming them. And that's what she looks like now. She is actually the hybrid being Marathi Cain, who is at once both a horrific winged snake monster and also a powerful sorceress who appears as a sort of lithe, elf-like creature. Then we have the build guide for the Gryph-hound statues. These are pretty easy. There's a sort of box-like plinth, and then the Gryph-hound statue that goes on top. And there's the second one there. Then with the painting guide, the plinths themselves are painted much like the rest of the ruins we've had so far, with white. It suggests here painting them black and then dry brushing them with Cantor blue and Corax white to give them a very dark blue stone effect. And there's what they look like finished there. But over the page it also suggests 2 alternate colour schemes for making them a sort of lighter blue or red Gryph-hound statues, and how to do that. So I suggest you can do those if you prefer those colours. But anyway, that's it for our contents of this issue, so now we'll head into our battle.
So our 2 new Gryph-hound statues don't actually have any rules associated for them, but we do have some new rules here for Triumph and Treachery. This is rules on how to do games of Age of Sigmar with more than 2 players. It's fairly similar, it's just that each phase you have to decide who your enemy is. We're not going to play, we do get a battle plan for this, but we're not going to play it because there's only 2 of us. There are some quirks to playing with multiple players. The first one being how the turn order works. Effectively you all roll off and whoever wins has their turn. And in each phase they decide who their enemy is, and that can change. And effectively you can only interact with whoever your enemy is. Neutral models effectively aren't there unless the only exception being the movement phase where you still can't get close to them. So you can see here, Astrea Soulbright is casting a spell, and the Nighthaunt player is the enemy, so the spell will affect that Lord Executioner, but that Khorne model there is a neutral model, so it isn't affected. And then once the first player has had their turn, the remaining 3 players roll off, and then that keeps going until the turn ends. It goes over how each phase works. It's fairly similar again. You only really interact with whoever your enemy is, so it notes how, say in the combat phase, you can only fight enemy models, and then the enemy models are the only ones that can fight you. Although in the Bashrok phase, everyone who's taking casualties has to make Bashrok tests as you'd expect. The other key difference is bribery and treachery. This allows players to effectively pay each other victory points to forge alliances or make agreements during the game. Although it does note that until the victory points have been transferred, any agreements are not binding, but once they are binding. There's over that here, and it gives some tips as well as to what to do in each phase, such as in the combat phase, choose your enemy based on who you're going to do the most damage to while taking the least in return. As I said, we do get a battle plan, some background for it here. I'm just going to skim over it. You can see the 4 armies there. There's 2 Nighthaunt ones and 2 Stormcast ones. And basically, some of the Stormcast and Nighthaunt are apparently still being affected by that Khorne blood curse that was let out a few issues ago. And you can see the battle plan there, and this is a sort of King of the Hill style game. We can get down to the background for our actual game for this issue. Some Stormcast forces that have been recently reforged are trying to break through the Nighthaunt lines to reinforce the Stormcast in Bataar. The 2-unit list we'll be making our choices from. One's nearly always the same. Stormcast 1 is similar to the one from a couple of issues ago. And our battle plan for this issue is the Edge of the Knife. So we're once again in the realm of fire. We have our 4 battle mats set out with 3 objectives along the diagonal, and then in the opposite corners are the 2 territories, which are sort of 12 inches on from the long edge of one of the mats in opposite corners. And we have 4 terrain pieces as we usually have. The Stormcast player starts deployment first, and the game will last for 5 battle rounds, and we score a victory point for each objective we control. And then if we have all 3 objectives, you get an additional victory point. And for our armies, we'll have 2 hero choices and 4 troops choices each. So we'll go over the armies we've picked and then come back after we finish deployment. So here's the Nighthaunt army I've picked. I have a Shroud Guard battalion with the Knight of Shrouds and the 2 units of Blade Geists. Then my other hero's choice will be the Guardian of Souls, and my other 2 unit choices will be the Hex Race and the Spirit Hosts. And I'll make the Knight of Shrouds my general, so he'll have the Mastery of the Black Arts command trait. And since I have 2 artifacts of power, I'll give the Knight of Shrouds the Tomb Blade and the Guardian of Souls the Black Amulet. And we also remember that triumphs are a thing, so I won the previous game, and I rolled, and I got the one that lets you re-roll all wound rolls. And here we have our Stormcast army.
So my 2 hero choices are both taken up by the Lord Arcanum on Gryph Charger. Obviously he'll be the general who have the Tenacious command trait for an extra wound and the Phoenix Stone to let him heal himself. I've got a unit of 5 Liberators, a unit of 3 Evocators, a unit of 5 Judicators, and a unit of 4 Gryph-hounds for a bit of speed.
So we set up the battlefield and finish deploying. I'll do a brief overview of the battlefield and terrain. So you can see 2 of the objectives there. One is in the centre of the board and one is in the centre of the top left battle mat. We have a damned Azerite ruin near the Nighthaunt deployment, the Sigmarite mausoleum over on the left, and a mystical fallen Sigmar head near the Stormcast deployment. And you can see the 3rd objective down here in the bottom right, and the Storm Vault there with the 2 new Gryph-hound statues, which is arcane, and the 2 slabs from the Storm Vault we're just using for decoration. They don't count as part of the terrain piece. I'll go over my deployment first. I did actually finish deploying thanks to my War Scroll battalion. I had the Hex Race over on the left, ready to head out towards the objective and near the top of the board, and the rest of my army set up on the edge of my deployment zone to go towards the middle and to the right.
And for my deployment, you can see the Liberators closest to the middle objective on the corner of my deployment zone with the Evocators behind them, the Judicators to their right as you see it, and the Lord Arcanum, and the Gryph-hounds behind.
So now we'll be rolling off. I also start with a command point because of my War Scroll battalion. Rolling off. It's a tie. I finished deploying first, so I get to decide, and I think I will go first. So we'll head into Nighthaunt turn 1. Right, my hero phase, gain a command point, go up to 2, and then the Guardian of Souls will try and cast Mystic Shield. He gets it with a 7.
I'm in range to unbind, so we'll give it a go, needing an 8, or getting an 11.
So in my movement phase, we're taking an aggressive approach. Most of my army ran. I did roll for the Blade Geists, and then turned it into a 6 with a command point, so they can go and take the objective over there. These 2 units run are just moving out to sort of move around the ruins. In the centre, the Blade Geists ran enough so that they can all get... they should mostly all be within range of that objective in the middle, also staying an inch away from all the ruins, and the Knight of Shrouds is just going to hang out behind them. And over in the top left, once again I rolled for the Hex Race and then turned it into a 6 with a command point so that they can take the top and left objective as well. So that will be it. I've got no charges, no shooting, no charges, and I will hold all 3 objectives at the end of my first turn, scoring 3 victory points plus 1 for holding all 3, going up to 4. And then we'll be on to Stormcast turn 1.
So in my hero phase I gain a command point. The Lord Arcanum's going to try and cast Mystic Shield because he's just out of range for Fireball or Arcane Bolt. Oh, I get it with an 11.
I suppose I'll try and unbind that with the Guardian of Souls. Getting a 12.
And we'll try and do Empower from the Evocators, plus why not? On 6. Oh, well, they get an 11 as well. That's 3 in a row.
Try and unbind with the Knight of Shrouds. No.
Mystic Shields on the Judicators and Empower on the Liberators because they have the Redeem keyword. And then moving up, the Liberators ran, getting themselves all on the objective along with the Lord Arcanum, so I will take that at the end of the turn. The Evocators following up behind, and the Judicators have moved across, and the Gryph-hounds have gone just trying to strike out against the other objective because they're going to have to try and get some victory points back. On to shooting, the Judicators are going to shoot at the Hex Wraiths. As usual, the Shockbolt Bow rolls to hit. It does, so it's D6 hits, not just the 1. Then all the other bows hitting on 3s, all the 4 for 2 for the Prime. Prime misses, it's only 3 hits in total. Wounding on 3s, 2 wounds.
2 4+ saves. 12 bursts, that's a dead Hex Wraith. So take that one away at the end.
And in the charge phase, the Gryph-hounds are going to attempt to charge those hex wraiths. They'll need a 9, not with a 7. And I think the Lord Arcanum will actually try and charge those blade geists. He's a bit far away, but we'll see. He'll also need a 9. Oh, he gets an 8 now, that's not enough. I'm not fussed about making that charge. I would have moved further forward if I was going to do that on purpose. So I will end my turn there.
And the Stormcast will take control of the centre objective and score a victory point. And now we're rolling off for initiative at Bataar round 2.
Oh, I won.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
So that's Stormcast turn 2.
Into the hero phase then, we'll do an Arcane Bolt. Needing 5, getting a 10, that's the big one.
We'll try and unbind that with the Guardian of Souls. No, not with a 4.
D6 wounds. D6 mortal wounds, I'll put it on the blade geist in front of him. 5.
Well, ignoring these on 5. I ignored 4, 1 blade geist dies. No, I didn't even need the Shroud Guard battalion for that, so I'll take this one at the back.
And I'm going to spend a command point for the Lord Arcanum's command ability to let the Evocators get cast in power automatically, because I really want it to go off.
And I can't unbind it either.
And that will go on the Liberators. In the movement phase, Gryph-hounds are going to move up to try and take on those Hex Wraiths. In the centre, the Liberators have moved up, followed by the Evocators. The Judicators have shifted across. And finally, the Lord Arcanum's going to need to go in and over here and try and take that one objective himself, I think. In the shooting phase, the Judicators are going to shoot the Hex Wraiths again. Shockbolt Bow hits on 3. It hit, it does D6 hits, 4 total. Other shots, Prime missed again, but that's 6 hits, no, 7 hits in total. Wounding on 3s, 6 wounds.
6 4+ saves. Made 4 of them, so another Hex Wraith will go down. Yeah, let's take away that one at the end, it's not going to make...
That brings us to charges. We'll do the Liberators first. Need a 3, they get a 10. They'll charge into the Blade Geist like that, and then the Lord Arcanum will have a go. He will need something like a 12 will do, and he'll finish his charge like that, avoiding the Spirit Hosts. So then we go on to the fight phase. Not going to blow up any Spirit Flasks, but we'll do the Liberators fighting the Blade Geists. 11 attacks, hitting on 4s. Only 4 hits. Wounding on 3s, rerolling because I'm in power. Reroll for that 2. 4 wounds.
4 4+ saves. Made 2. Ignoring damage on 5s. Ignored 1. 1 Blade Geist dies. Take away this one, that's not going to be able to fight. So now I'm going to pick the other unit of Blade Geist to go. You can get them all in range, so I've got 10 attacks hitting on 3s. Looks like 8 hits. 8 hits wounding on 2s. They'll wound.
8 4+ saves. He takes 4 wounds. It's down to 4. But now he gets to strike back. Do his attacks first, hitting on 3s, 4 of them. They all hit. They wound on 3s. Got 3 wounds.
3 4+ saves. Made 1.
D3 damage each. 4.
I've got 1 guy in range of the Guardian of Souls. He ignores it on a 6. No, so that's 4.
And the Mount has 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, but 6s cause a mortal wound, I think. Check if it comes up. Oh, it's 2 mortal wounds, I think. Check.
Yeah. So that is enough to wipe out the Blade Geists. And then my other unit of Blade Geists gets to fight back against the Liberators. 6 attacks on the Liberators on 3s. They all hit. And 2s. They'll wound.
5+ saves, rerolling 1s. Made 3 with a reroll. That made 3, so that's a dead Liberator and 1 taken. But effectively, Cycle of the Storm allows me to reduce the wounds by 1. So basically, this one will take 2 wounds and die, and then come back and then take the extra.
And that is it. No Battletop test to be made. And actually, the Stormcast will hold all 3 objectives at the end of their turn, going up to 5 victory points. And we'll be into Nighthaunt turn 2. So again, a command point in the hero phase. The Lord Arcanum will go up to 5 wounds, but we also have to roll for the Volcanic Terrain on the Liberators. So on a 6, hey, they take D3 mortal wounds. You can roll it.
They take 2, that will kill 1. The Storm's only once per turn, but we will use it to save the Liberator.
So then we got spell casting. I'll do the Knight of Shrouds first. He's going to try and cast Fireball. Needing a 5, getting it with a 7.
Try and unbind with the Evocators, I suppose. Nope.
I'll put it on the Liberators. D3 mortal wounds. Just 1, but that will kill the wounded one. And then the Guardian of Souls will try and cast Spectral Lure. He needs a 6. He doesn't get it with a 3. And now my movement phase down here, the Spirit Hosts are all moving, so they're 3 inches away from the Lord Arcanum, with the Guardian of Souls staying nearby. In the middle, the Blade Geists are falling back, so they're 3 inches away from the Liberators, because they can fall back and charge, and the Knight of Shrouds is going to get on top of the ruins. Volcanic only applies in the hero phase. And the Hex Race will move so that they fly over the Gryph-hounds, and then move towards the centre of the board. Potential mortal wounds on the Gryph-hounds on 5s. No, none at all. Now we're onto the charge phase. I'll start with the Spirit Hosts. Anything but a 3. They're in. So they'll all charge into the Lord Arcanum, staying within 6 inches of the Guardian of Souls, and 2 of them will be within 6 of the objective as well. Here in the middle, these Blade Geists will charge. Anything but a 3. 4 is enough. The Knight of Shrouds will charge as well. Yeah, an 8 is enough. And we'll do the Hex Race as well, why not? A 9 is enough. So they'll all pile in to the middle like that. Then in the fight phase, I'm going to put Lord of Geist on the Hex Race, I think. No blowing up from the Lord Arcanum, so I'm actually going to pick the Spirit Host to go first. So they've got 18 attacks, hitting on 5s, 6s do mortal wounds. Well, there's only 2 6s, and 3 regular hits. 3 regular hits, wound on 3s, getting only 1.
And he gets a 3+ save against that, which he fails though, so he does still take 3 wounds.
Down to 2 wounds.
Then I've just got the Liberators to pick. They're going to put all their attacks on the Blade Geist to see if we can get rid of them. 7 attacks, hitting on 4s, 3 hits. Wounding on 3s, re-rolling because it's still got in power, so re-roll. 32 wounds.
4+ saves, made both. I'll do the Blade Geist next. So they have 9 attacks because they charge, and they can retreat and charge. So 9 attacks hitting on 3s. That looks like 7 hits. Wounding on 2s because they're still within range of the Guardian of Souls. They'll wound.
5+ saves, re-rolling 1s. We've made 1 with 2 re-rolls to make. We still made 1, that's 6 wounds, it's enough to kill them. Perfect. Yeah. And I've got the Lord Arcanum to pick. He'll obviously hit the Spirit Host. 4 stick attacks on 3s. Hit again. Wounding on 3s. 3 wounds.
3 4+s. Made 1.
2d3 damage. Oh, 6.
Ooh.
You still with him.
Yeah, ignoring on 6s. I ignored 1. It's enough to keep. It's enough to keep them, two of them alive just.
And then the Mount hitting on 3s. 6s cause mortal wound. Oh, they all miss.
So I'll kill that one, and then the other one goes down to 1. I could pick the Knight of Shrouds and the Hex Race to go, but I don't think I will because I don't really need to, and the Evocators have their Celestial Lightning Arc. So that'll be it, I think. Yeah, so at the end of the turn I'll hold this objective down here and the objective in the middle and get 2 victory points and go up to 6. So now we're rolling off for Battle Round 3.
That was a draw, but I won last time, so I'll go first again.
So we're into Stormcast turn 3.
So I gain another command point. The Lord Arcanum will try and cast Healing Light on himself to try and heal some wounds. He gets it with a 5, that's the minimum.
Definitely going to try and unbind that with the Guardian of Souls, needing a 6. No.
Oh, he heals D3 wounds on himself. 1, so he's back to 4, or 5. And then obviously we're just trying to empower. Getting a 6. Getting a 6 exactly.
Try and unbind with the Knight of Shrouds. Get it with an 8.
And then in the movement phase, the Lord Arcanum will stay in melee. The Evocators have moved round like that. The Gryph-hounds have come into the centre to help out in there. And the Adjudicators have moved up because we're going to need their numbers on the objective most likely. And then in the shooting phase, they're going to shoot the 3 Blade Geist Revenants. Shockbolt bow hits 5 times. Other bows get 3 hits. Wounding on 3s, 6.
4+ saves. Made 3. Ignoring damage on 5s. Made 2. Another Blade Geist dies.
Then on to charges. We'll start with the Evocators. They just need a 3. And they get a 12. I'll just do the Gryph-hounds as well quickly. They get a 6. So the Evocators finish their charge like that into the Knight of Shrouds and the Gryph-hounds into the Hex Wraiths. But I'm going to pick the Lord Arcanum to fight first because those Spirit Hosts could quite easily mortal wound him to death if they roll well. 4 stick attacks on 3s. He missed twice this time. Wounding on 3s. Oh, only 1.
4+. Made it.
Well, we didn't catch it on camera, but the Mount hit once and it wounds on a 3. It did.
4+. No. Ignoring damage on a 6. No. Another Spirit Host dies. So I think I'll pick the Knight of Shrouds to go first. It's tempting to go after those Gryph-hounds, but those Evocators are quite dangerous. So 4 attacks with the Sword of Stolen Hours, hitting on 3s, hitting 3, and wounding on 2s. They'll wound. It's -1 rend.
-1 rend, so 5s to save. Made 1, so that's what, 4 damage?
Yeah. Then 2 attacks from the horse on 4s, getting 1 hit, wounds on a 5. He does.
4+ save. Failed.
So that's 5 damage in total.
This one and this one goes down to 1 wound. We'll do your Cycle of the Storm to prevent the wounded one dying, so actually, basically 4 wounds. Gryph-hounds will attack. 9 attacks, hitting on 3s, 6 hits, wounding on 4s, 3 wounds. Perfectly average.
4+ saves, made them all.
And then the Gryph-hounds make their 6-inch retreat move with darting attacks, so they're not in range anymore, so I've just got the Evocators left to attack with. 9 attacks hitting on 3s, 6 hits, and wounding on 3s, 3 wounds.
3 4+ saves, made 2. Ignoring damage on a 6. You.
And then the Celestial Lightning Arc, there are 2 of them left, so 4 dice needing 4+s to do mortal wounds. We do 3 mortal wounds.
Ignoring them on 6s, ignoring 1. Knight of Shrouds has 4 wounds left. So the Knight of Shrouds has 3 wounds left, and then I have a Spirit Host. 6 attacks on 5s, 6s do mortal wounds. There's It's just an ordinary hit. That wounds on a 3, it doesn't wound. So at the end of that turn, the Stormcast still hold that upper left objective. But in the middle, we both have 6 models. The Judicators are just out of range. And over here, we only have 1 model each, so I still hold that objective as well. So it's just 1 victory point for the Stormcast, both up to 6. And we're on to Nighthaunt, turn 3. Right, again a command point, up to 1. Guardian of Souls will do Spectral Law first. Needing a 6, gets it with an 8.
Trying to bind with the Lord Arcanum. Oh, he does with an 11.
And then the Nighthaunt will do Fireball, needing a 5, and he gets a 4. And then we have Volcanic Terrain on those doggos. On a 6, no, not this time. I'm also going to use the Black Amulet this turn to do 3 mortal wounds to the Lord Arcanum, taking back down to 2 wounds. So my movement phase, the Guardian of Souls is going to move so he's 3 inches away from the Lord Arcanum. In the middle, the Knight of Shadows are going to stay in combat, and the 2 Blade Guys are going to move up so that they're closer to the Evocators. And the Hexos are going to, they didn't run very fast, so I'm not going to do any bombing runs as I go back to take the top left objective. Then in the charge phase, the Guardian of Souls will charge, and actually so will those Blade Guys as well. So the Guardian of Souls, 5 is enough, Blade Guys, 8 is enough. So I'm going to spend a command point to put Lord of Geist on the Knight of Shrouds, and he's going to go first. And I think I'll use my Triumph at this point as well, just to make absolutely sure I do some wounds. So 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, getting 4, wounding on 2s, re-rolling. See, good job I used that, and 2 6s as well, actually, that's important. Re-rolling, getting 2 more wounds. So the 6s with the Tomb Blade mean I can heal 2 wounds, so the Guardian with the Knight of Shadows will heal himself by 2 wounds.
And then we have 4 6+ saves.
5 plus saves.
Is there any more? Oh yeah, sorry, 5+ saves, so made 2 of them.
So it's 4 damage so far. 3 attacks to the horse, hitting on 4s, getting 1, and wounding on 4s. No.
2 damage kills this one, but then he'll come back on a wound with Cycle of the Storm, and then the 2 wounds. So basically, end result is the Prime ends up on 2 wounds.
Yeah, and the Knight of Shrouds ends up on 5 wounds.
Well, I'll pick the Lord Arcanum, probably condemns the Evocator Prime to death, but he's going to put all of his attacks on the Guardian of Souls. 4 attacks with his staff on 3s, getting 2, wounding on 3s, only 1.
4 plus, failed.
D3, 1.
Ignoring up my 6. Nope. Guardian of Souls is down to 4.
And mount 3s, getting 2 hits, wounding on 3s as well, 2 wounds.
4 plus, 8 both. I'll do the 2 Blade Guys then. 6 attacks because they charge, hitting on 3s. Ooh, only 3 hits, and wounding on 2s. They all wound.
Need to make 2 saves to live, of 5. Oh, no, to make any, he dies.
That wipes out the Evocator Prime. Then I have my 2 units over here. I'll do the Spirit Host first. 6 attacks on 5, 6 mortal wounds. Oh well, there's 2 mortal wounds in there. Yeah, just have to kill the Lord Arcanum. So the Lord Arcanum goes down as well. And so at the end of my turn, I actually lose control of the middle objective, but gain control of the top left objective and hold the one at the bottom right. Get 2 victory points and go up to 8, and that's the end of the battle round. So we're rolling off.
I won, and I'll choose to go first.
So we're into Stormcast turn 4.
So in my hero phase, I don't have anything to do, but the Gryph-hounds are still within range of that volcanic terrain. So if I roll a 6, they'll take mortal wounds. No, and the movement phase is very straightforward. The Gryph-hounds are going to try and take on the Hex Race and take that objective back, and the Judicators have all moved within range of the central objective. And in the shooting phase, they'll try and kill those 2 Blade Geists. Shockwalk bow hits on a 3. It hits. D6 hits. 5 again. Other bows get 4 more hits. That's 9 total. So 9 hits total. Wounding on 3s. 7.
7 4 plus saves. Only made 2. Ignoring damage on 5s. Yeah, they're finally gone. Oof. So the Blade Guys wiped out.
And then in the charge phase, the Gryph-hounds will declare a charge. Anything but a 3, or needing a 3, or an 11. That's a decent run-off roll to get them all the way around here. And then obviously I'll pick them to pile in an attack. 9 attacks hitting on 3s. 6. Wounding on 4s. 4 wounds.
4 plus saves. Made them all. So the Stormcast will take control of the top left objective.
Yeah, I've obviously retreated.
Yeah, they retreat. Yeah, their Gryph-hounds retreated. So they get 2 victory points and go up to 8. And we'll head into Nighthaunt turn 4. I'll start spellcasting with the Knight of Shrouds. He'll try and do Fireball. Needs a 5. Gets hit with an 8.
Can't unbind that anymore.
D3 damage to the Judicators. 3.
Oh no, you're important. Okay.
Yeah, so 1 guy dies, another takes a wound. And the Guardian of Souls will try and cast Spectral Law. He gets it with a 7. He's going to put it on the Spirit Hosts. So he brings back D6 wounds. He gets 6. That brings them both back. So I'm going to bring back 1 here. And then 1 here, so we can get towards the objective in the middle. In my movement, the Spirit Hosts and the Guardian of Souls will run just to get them towards the middle. Probably get one Spirit Host and the Guardian of Souls actually on near the objective. While the Hex Wraiths and the Knight of Shrouds are going to move so they're 3 inches away from the Judicators. And then both the Hex Wraiths and Knight of Shrouds will charge. Do the Knight of Shrouds first. Anything but a 3, he's in. Hex Wraiths, 4, but they're in. Everyone will get in. I will pick the Knight of Shrouds to go first, and he's going to put Lord of Geist on himself again. 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, getting 3. And wounding on 2s, getting 3 plus a 6, so you can regain a wound.
And then I have 3 6+ saves, which I've made 1 off.
5 plus saves.
Wait, 5+ saves. I keep thinking he has Ren -2.
So that's 4 damage so far. 3 attacks on the horse on 4s. Oh, they all hit. And wounding on 4s. 1 wound from the horse.
4+ save. Nope.
So that kills everyone except the Shockbolt Bow, and the Knight of Shrouds will heal his remaining wound, but that one Judicator gets to fight back.
Well, we got 1 attack back on a Hex Wraith, which hit. Wounds on a 3.
4.
4, so no.
He would have parred in, but all the Hex Wraiths will get in on him as well. So we've got 7 scythe attacks on 4, 6 to do mortal wounds. There's 1 mortal wound and nothing else.
The horse will have to do it.
Yeah, they've had to actually fight. And 6 attacks from horses on 4s. See, they're way better. And these are going to be wounding on 4s as well. Only 2.
It's like 2 4+ saves to live. No.
That finishes off the Judicators. And again, no Battle Rock test to be made. That's the end of my turn, so I gain control of the middle objective, and the bottom right objective I still hold. Getting 2 victory points and going up to 10.
And at this point I will concede and not worry about the final battle round, because with 4 Gryph-hounds left, I can't possibly really take an objective from the Nighthaunt. I'd have to kill 3 models to take that middle objective, and even then I could only really get a draw. In fact, no, I can get a maximum of 2 points in my next turn, and the Nighthaunt are going to gain 1 in their final turn regardless, because I can't possibly get to the faraway objective. So that would be a Nighthaunt victory.
Yeah, so we'll recap that game for you now. So that was the game for issue 71 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Mortal Realms magazine. How did you think that went?
Honestly, better than I thought it would. Still being kind of in the running towards the end of the game was not really what I was expecting.
Yeah, I think if you hadn't gotten that double turn, probably would have consolidated my position on the bottom right objective, and possibly, I probably would have gotten another 4 victory points out of it.
Yeah, the double turn made the difference. It was a good double turn as well. I did quite a lot of damage. The Lord Arcanum did well to wipe out a whole unit of Blade Geist, although having said that, he also had most of his big arcane bolt denied with a sort of lucky roll. The Liberators just didn't do very much at all against those other Blade Geists, but being able to gain the 4 victory points was what kept me in the game right at the beginning anyway. If I hadn't had the double turn, it probably actually would have won after turn 2. It wouldn't have mattered.
We actually have fairly small armies as well for a board this size, so considering my army is just generally faster, I'll be able to nip in and take the objectives. And Hex Wraiths, 5 of them is actually quite large as well, so for a fast unit.
Yeah, the Hex Wraiths didn't really do very much because mostly they were just being attacked by the Gryph-hounds who then ran away. So they didn't do a great deal of damage, but they were just fast enough to be a nuisance.
Yeah, and I think they did a good job of basically alternating between the 2 objectives, the top left and the middle one. So you had to do something about that, and that pulled your Gryph-hounds away.
Yeah, as usual, I'm hamstrung with poor choice of units that are fast. Gryph-hounds or 2 prosecutors is the only options I have. 2 prosecutors obviously would have done nothing
your
at all.
prosecutors probably would have died in combat against the X-Rays, and they never would have taken the top left objective either.
Yeah, the Judicators were my star unit. That Shockbolt Bow guy should be promoted. They chipped off wounds here and there, but it was still very difficult to finish off units. I think I was fortunate as well that your spellcasting wasn't very good, although all those Blade guys would have kept coming back.
Yeah, I think I got some pretty lucky save rolls. I'm sure at least at one point I rolled 4 4+ and got them all. And the Blade ignored a lot of damage on the Blade guys as well. And the Knight of Shrouds actually pulled his weight for once. I had to use a Triumph to get him to reroll those 1s, but he managed to heal himself back up to full by the end.
And my Evocators didn't really do that much against him. Well, they did 3 wounds to him, but just because of the way the turn worked out, I didn't attack with them first, so he lost 1.
Yeah, I was pretty worried about that Celestial Lightning arc, to be honest.
They could do an awful lot of damage if they get to fight on their own terms, but losing 1 before they got to strike was probably a bit of a shame. The Lord Arcanum did, to start the game, he was clearly on form, taking out a whole unit of Blade Geist by himself and then nearly beating all those Spirit Hosts. But sadly, even with getting a double turn and my units performing probably better than expected in some cases, we still can't win against in these kind of objective games with Stormcast.
Yeah, you just don't have the speed and manoeuvrability to do it. And once again, your fast units are really small as well. But it is worth noting that we do finish off the terrain collection in this issue with the 2 Gryph-hound statues, and they were part of the Enduring Stormvault kit, I think, which I don't think is available anymore, or maybe parts of it are available individually. Like the alternate painting schemes as well, that's quite a nice touch for them to do. Well, otherwise, I don't think there's too much more to say about this game or this issue. So as always, if you like this content, do leave a like and subscribe. Leave any comments if you played this game, or if you would have done anything different, let us know. We have been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.